Hey guys, it's Greg from East Coast Eyes, and today I've got another episode of Theory Thursday for you. If you haven't seen the video I posted right before this one, it shows my new helmet wrap for my CPXR, which I'm really pumped about it. Going to get it on and make a video about it as soon as possible and show it to you guys, so I'll put an annotation up on the screen for that video. You can go check it out. But what today's Theory Thursday is, and what the next couple will be, is today I'm going to do the theory of stringing a high pocket, not just specifically about the theory of string one, and the next week will be mid pocket, and then the next week will be low pocket. So that's the setup for the theories for the next couple. So 30 suggestions for what theory videos you'd like to see. The point of the theory series is, in my opinion on stringing, is I still get some requests for patterns, but my goal for you guys is to be able to create your own patterns for any head, and it's my belief that any pocket can be strung well in any head with few exceptions. So the idea of these theory videos is to give you guys the information and the knowledge to create your own patterns when you're stringing. So today I'm going to help give you the knowledge to create your own pattern when you're stringing a high pocket. So as an example, I've got my Blade Pro here, High School Edition, strung up with limited edition breast cancer East Coast mesh. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit how to string a high pocket using this head as an example. This head does have a lot of sidewall holes. It's slightly more difficult on a head with fewer sidewall holes, but can still be done. So a high pocket is when you want the pocket to sit up really high in the head, above the middle of the head, and what a high pocket holds is high whip, high hold, and a lot of shot speed, as well as a quick release. So when you start out stringing a high pocket, the first thing you want to do is, of course, do the top string, and then you're going to get to the sidewalls. Now, a high pocket will have less of a channel than a mid pocket or low pocket, but can still have a channel, as seen on this head. It's still pretty well channeled, and when you're stringing a high pocket, it actually does help to pick a head that's more designed for a high pocket. You can see here that the Blade Pro has a really high pinch, and the higher up in the head that the pinch is, so the higher up the narrow part goes, the easier it's going to be to string a high pocket, because you can string a channel and a high pocket all the way up to this point in the head, so you can see how high the pinch is. So when you're choosing a head, if you have to buy a new one, you know you like high pockets, pick one like the Surgeon or the Rabel X or the Blade Pro that has a really high pinch. So then the first thing you want to do is get the sidewall done. Now, when I'm stringing a high pocket, what I generally do is interlock the first 4 holes of mesh, pulling them down very tightly. So you can see here that this first hole of mesh is pulled just about as tight as it can go with an interlock, and then to create the channel, I skipped a hole here and then pulled the next hole of mesh down very tightly with an interlock, and then the third hole of mesh is also pulled down very tightly with an interlock, and that's going to give you this flat portion here that's going to create your channel. And so that's the first 3. So the first 3 are pulled as tight as you can humanly get them. Now the fourth one, you can see this fourth hole of mesh right here is pulled just a little bit less tight. It's started to bunch up a little bit more. So that's going to create the pocket up a little higher while still maintaining that channel through the fourth hole, but start to create a little bit of depth. And that's what's going to give you that really, really tall, defined channel shape like the one that's in this head. So the first 3 pulled as tight as possible. The fourth one interlocked just a little closer. And then right after that interlock, I put a very tightly bunched double up. So you can see these 2 holes, 1 and 2, are bunched up real close to each other. They're both between these 2 sidewall holes. And then right after that is another one bunched up very tightly. So what you want to do is, if you don't have holes that are that tight, that close together, you can just make all 3 of these a triple up. If you only have holes here and here, you can just do a triple up or a double really tight and then a single right after it. And what that's going to do is create a really nice high pocket and really make the pocket deep, so that less tight interlock than a double or a triple is what creates that high pocket. And then for the rest of the head, you're going to want to end a little bit early. You can see how early I ended with a slightly longer bottom string, because if you don't, it's really going to bag out. And you want to use as few holes of mesh as possible. Finishing out the head, I used 1, 2, and 3. So here's the double and the single all bunched up real tight. So you can see through the top third of the head, I used 4 holes of mesh all spread out over the top third. Then in this tiny little middle section, I put 3 holes. Then spread out over the rest of the head is the other 3 holes. So the idea is to use to stretch the holes out very, very tightly. Stretch them out down the head for this first third, bunch them together, and then stretch them back out for the rest of the head. So hopefully that'll help you guys string a high pocket in any head. So if you need help interlocking, I have a video on that. I'm also making more that show you specifically how to do all the knots. But let me know in the comments what other Theory Thursdays you'd like to see, as well as other stringer tips. I'm always looking for ideas of things you guys have trouble with. So like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching.